What up, what up, what up? What's going on, everyone? What's up, Popcorn? What's up, Cindy? How's it going? What's up, Hottie? What up? How's life treating you guys? My fiance and I spent the morning prepping more wedding related things. Got our marriage license sorted this morning. Little walkthrough of the venue. Usual suspects, yep. How's it going, Nartner? Good to see you here. Oh, damn. Sorry to hear that, Popcorn. Nice. Much more prepared with the marriage license than I was. Well, what's up, Skull King? Yeah, we're just getting the stream started. It is Thursday, April 30th. Yo. May 1st tomorrow. Pretty crazy. I'm getting close to the year mark for the streaming schedule. I still have yet to change my name. I'm not looking forward to all the... Yeah, I totally understand that. Well, I don't think there's technically a rush with that kind of stuff, right? I hope wedding planning is going well. Yeah, it's going pretty good, honestly. I do feel like we're in a decent spot at the moment. We've got a lot more to do, but we're about a month out now, so you know, I think there's enough time to get everything sorted in a way where we won't be feeling extremely stressed the day of. And that's kind of one of the important things to me is that, like, obviously, you know, I mean, no matter what, it is going to be a little bit stressful in the sense that, like, you know, we'll want to be mindful of when what is supposed to be happening and try to make sure things aren't lasting longer than they should be. But I really want to make sure that we're able to really appreciate the moment, be super present, and that's probably like that's number one priority for me. How to find a person to be married with? We could turn this into a little relationship therapy / relationship guidance stream. Oh wow, you found your partner in high school. It's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like I was in a place where I was mature enough to commit to someone in that way that early on. I think it just depends on the kind of person you are and I guess the kind of people you meet too. Like, I don't think there's anything that could have somehow allowed me to mature fast enough to be ready for marriage sooner.
Wrote it before, but want to know your opinion. My professor gave me 81/100ths of my music project. He said that I'm a good musician and mixing engineer, but I didn't use raw Foley's in my project. I used it, but resampled a lot. Asian and I were quite disappointed. Such an old idiot.
Well, I can understand being frustrated with that, but I also don't think that in the long run, getting one particular score on a test is not going to matter much to you in a few weeks or months, let alone years. So I wouldn't try to focus on that too much. You also have to understand the academic space is very different, obviously, than I don't know, let's say the actual music industry. I don't know what class that was for, but there's a lot of good that can come from studying and learning in an academic environment that maybe you wouldn't do otherwise if you're in the music industry. Like I'll give you an example. Like I remember when I was in college. This was like 10 years ago, by the way, to be fair. Actually, 12 years ago, really, at this point. And I was there for music business, but the program that I was in was extremely outdated. So a lot of things that would have been really helpful for me to learn at the time, I wasn't being taught, really. I mean, a lot of the music business courses were just vastly outdated. There wasn't much about like, the legalities and formalities and, like licensing or, current marketing strategies. Like none of that kind of stuff was really taught when I was in school. And so it was better for me, actually. I'm really happy I dropped out at that time and just went full time, because there are some things that I learned better by just being active in the industry, and getting my hands dirty. But still, even though that was happening, there were a lot of things I didn't learn that are really essential to how the music industry functions. For example, I think it was maybe like 5 years into my career that I learned how, in terms of intellectual property, like your rights for your master and the composition for every piece you create are like two very different things. And it took me a while to wrap my head around that initially, because I was like, why have I never heard of this concept before? Like I had finished 3 years with the music business degree, and that was not really taught. It was more about, more traditional forms of like music theory and oral skills and music history. It was good. It's a good program, and like I loved a lot of my teachers, but it was, in my opinion, quite outdated. Ultimately, academic space sucks. 3 years bachelor study. Well, again, I just think it's important to know to like understand that the academic space is very different from the industry. And that's a good thing in a lot of ways, I think. It's good to have a place where it's more about understanding. You are at your teacher's mercy, and so that doesn't feel good to kind of like, have to appeal to, let's say, like what that one person is looking for, or maybe their subjective like curriculum or teaching style dictates how you need to change yourself to like make sure you're getting what is technically like a good grade, when in reality, it doesn't necessarily mean you're understanding material better. I mean, it's more, maybe you're feeling like you're just catering more to what the teacher is looking for. But that's it's not fun, but it's kind of there's no such thing as a perfect system. I think like most academic environments ultimately they don't embrace it, but it is just kind of like a part of the system. Happy International Jazz Day. Let's go. Happy International Jazz Day. What's your favorite jazz standard? I mean, the one that I have probably played the most often in my life is Misty. It's just such a good piece. But I don't know. I really like Girl from Ipanema, although I don't know if you could consider that. It's kind of a standard in a way. I think it's funny because a lot of standards weren't written with the intention of being a standard. They just kind of like got absorbed into the jazz world and became standards. What is that chord again? There we go. God, the bridge to Girl from Ipanema is so beautiful. Like, that was pretty close, but not quite right. So it's interesting. I'm trying to like think about the theory behind that, because it's like, so we're just in straight up G major. So it's like, so it's G, A dominant, A minor, A flat minor, and then back to G. So immediately, like, you feel like the tonal center in the bridge is like the A flat major instead of the G flat, instead of the G major. Like, you feel like that's the tonal center for sure. My standard for jazz would be anything from Bill Evans. I hear you, dude. Bill is a badass. So it's pretty interesting because immediately it feels like A flat major, and then there's that tritone substitution. So it's like a G, an altered G. But then instead of going to C minor, which is kind of what you'd expect, it goes to A flat minor. Like, how does that work? It's so interesting. I don't know why that why it works, because C minor is very different than A flat minor. Well, okay, now that I'm thinking about it, so if we're in A flat minor, or like A flat Aeolian, the 4 is a D flat dominant, which is very similar to that altered G with the tritone sub. Like this is very similar to this, actually. I think that's exactly why it works. Never really thought about that, but or wait a minute. I think I might be stupid. It's not there's no tritone substitution there. I think it's just D flat 7. So it's the exact same chord as what you would hear in in A flat minor. But then this one is interesting. I don't know. I haven't actually tried to analyze jazz chords in a while. So I was the breakcore, jazz, city pop, and rap. Listen, I think having varied music taste is great because at the end of the day, why deny yourself the joy of something? Like what you like. And I think that there's so many awesome genres of music out there. Just like how there's lots of great food, lots of awesome different kinds of humans. It's like there's no reason to deny yourself the joy. Having varied music taste is awesome. It's like being able to speak 100 languages. Yeah, it's an interesting way to compare those two. But like, dude, what there's a pattern there. So it goes minor chord in one key, and then it goes to the minor 6 dominant chord on the minor 6, and then it uses that to go down a 5th. Interesting. I gotta look at this again. Like if that pattern were to continue, I think that's how it would go. Interesting. But this is interesting too. So this is modulated into A minor, and then he does the minor 6, or like the dominant 7 based in the minor 6. So then you'd expect that to go a fifth down onto the B flat, but somehow he ends up on the B minor. Like, why does that work? What is going on there? It's some kind of tritone thing going on there. I don't know. Anyways, it's just fun to look at. I mean, like, as in you can peer into an entirely different culture from your own without really any obstacles. That's true. Yeah. I mean, it's a cool way to think about it as well, honestly. But man, the music theory in that track is just so cool. I have no favorite anything except you. You are my favorite producer. Thank you, Antonius. I appreciate it. You know, some of the harmonic play there, it is, it's got that Phrygian dominant thing going on. And And that's something that I feel like is really big in electronic music and has been more so for some time. Hey Martin, I just got your vinyl. Hell yeah, the one you sent to Munich. Nice. I haven't even unpacked it completely, but I'm happy as a clam. Twofold is a masterpiece. Thank you. I really appreciate you supporting. But yeah, the reason I find that interesting is because, like, think about like the Radiohead track that's been going viral for like what, a year and a half now or something. Again, obviously the release date was like 20 years ago or something, but I feel like it's been everything in its right place, right? It's kind of it's kind of got the same thing going on there. Twofold album didn't come two-folded. I need a refund. Yikes. Yeah, for some reason you don't hear like a lot of dominance, I feel like, in electronic music. It's like electronic music tends to have more any kind of extensions and notes within traditional minor and major. Obviously not all like electronic music. There's plenty of electronic music. I think like in the house music space, I feel like is where you start house and maybe like glitch hop and I don't know, just more like some of the more niche areas of EDM. I feel like you end up finding some more interesting chords, and then occasionally in house music you'll also have obviously like disco and funk adjacent stuff that has some fun chord changes. Rhapsody and Blue Vibes. You'd think you'd hear dominance more in electronic music because of how effective it is at raising tension. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. But, I think part of it might be because of the focus on like the relationship between harmonics from a production standpoint, because when you think about how complex like the overtone series is for like a chord, like some kind of altered chord, like if you're just stacking fifths on top of each other, then the harmonic series, if I feel like, is more likely to kind of work in your favor, if that makes sense. I feel like that's part of the reason why a lot of EDM has like maybe like simpler chords, because it makes it easier to mix, and it makes it easier to push the volume of the harmonics, because there's fewer harmonics to worry about, essentially, And then it also requires less knowledge as well, in terms of like from a theory standpoint, in terms of like, oh, how do I mix, and then also understand how to get these more complicated chords to kind of work together. But I don't know. That's just my theory. I'm not saying that as a fact. It's just more maybe some thoughts on why that might be like that. And also, I also think about like how many people actually care about that. Having more esoteric chords in EDM is probably like, it obviously doesn't seem to be needed at all, because those aren't the things that matter in that space. It's definitely more sound design and dance focused. But I don't know. It is really satisfying when you hear some unexpected harmonies and chords in EDM for exactly that reason. Who are some artists that you guys? I'm just curious if any of you guys have some. I love watching the breakdowns from IXI on YouTube. Oh, sick. I'll have to check that out sometime. I'm curious if any of you guys have electronic music acts who you feel have some more interesting chords compared to, let's say, like kind of like run of the mill stuff that you might hear. And like obviously electronic music is a pretty, broad umbrella, but I'm just curious. Like you could call Anomaly electronic music, kinda, right? And he's got some of the most insane chords.
Can you show your approach to figuring out fundamentals for percussion that you use within a track? I am not fully familiar with the fundamentals concept and would love some tips to get into that which my ears might not be picking up already. Thanks, Martin.
Well, I'm not 100% sure I'm the best person to ask about that. I'm totally down to explore that a bit. Because I feel like there's maybe a couple of small things I can throw out there that could be helpful. You're talking about fundamentals for percussion. Are you talking about like sound design and mixing and arranging percussion? Or is there something, are you talking about fundamentals as in like the fundamental frequency of like a snare drum? I'm just making sure I understand what you're talking about. What's up, Tomboy? Dead Mousen said, yeah, for sure. Like how they wrestle with elements that may not be in key with them. Oh, I see. Well, here's the thing. Like, let's listen, I'm not gonna pretend I am some kind of authoritative figure when it comes to mixing and sound design, but I understand some basic concepts that enough to be able to talk about them comfortably. So I'm just gonna quickly pull up my template file here. And here's the thing. I personally don't really believe in I'm not huge into tuning the kick stuff, tuning your song, your kicks and snares into the key. I think it can matter in certain situations. But so for example here, like listen to this kick drum here, right? Sounds pretty sweet. And if we go into the sub pitch movement here, generally it always depends on what kind of kick drum you're going for in a track. But generally speaking, there's going to be quite a bit of movement in a kick drum. It's not like you're sitting at one particular frequency for the duration of a kick drum. So I think the whole idea of tuning it doesn't really make a ton of sense to me, like tuning it to a song. It's possible maybe for some people that's an effective part of their workflow. But for me, especially when you look at like the pitch movement for this sub, like the main part of the kick, which contains all of that, most of the, information that you're feeling and hearing, not all of it. It doesn't really have the transient. The transient is kind of like this little guy right here. So if I, like, that's the transient on its own. But it's not like the kick it's not like the majority of the kick is tuned to a particular frequency to begin with. The sound of most kick drums, or a lot of kick drums, they have lots of movement, and that's part of what makes them so awesome, and gives them the impact that is so satisfying to hear. So I don't know. I don't really ascribe to the tuning when it comes to kick drums. With snares, it's a little bit different. I'm kind of let me see if I can find a quick example of a snare I've engineered. Just something basic. Snare engineering. I don't know. This might not be a good example. Well, it's not terrible actually. So let's look at this snare. See, with snares, I find that they also have a lot of movement. This one might have. I'd say it's probably around this 173 mark, where it's the loudest. Yeah, 172. So I mean, that's another way to look at it, right? Is I guess like where, what is the loudest part of that sound and which frequency? So like you can consider it tuning in that sense, right? So like you look at this kick drum, you see a lot of movement here. Most of the volume there's a little bit going on here at 3K. That's pretty high, and then here at like 60, 65, whatever. You got this bump here. That's the loudest part of the kick drum. But it's not like it's not like a single note here. It's because it's moving, and yeah. So I don't know. I don't think it applies to kicks, but with snares it's a little different. I find with snares there's more tuning that you can do because I think they tend to like linger around a specific frequency range more so than kick drums. And maybe that's just because I've I don't know if this is a universal thing. Maybe it's just about the kind of snares and kicks that I gravitate towards. Or something tend to be like that. I'm not sure, but I really think that most of the time when you're hearing a snare in a track, a good snare is not going to have a ton of wavering in its pitch. So I could see the argument for like wanting to tune your snare to your track more so than your kick. Another thing that there's so much interesting stuff to dive into. I feel like when it comes to drum sound design, but I'm just not the person to I think have some great advice in that regard. I enjoy experimenting and analyzing. Sometimes I'll try to reverse engineer a track, and that can often teach me a lot about what how a mix down works in a certain song, and sometimes it's really surprising, right? Like you realize certain things about, like, okay, I used to, for example, really try to push the low end a lot in my tracks when I was mixing them, and then I noticed that when I would try to like limit them and master them to compete a bit more overall volume wise with other tracks and like similar genres and stuff, that I would run into issues there. So I was like, well, how are they getting their mixes to sound that way? And yeah, I mean, it just turns out that, obviously, like, there's all these different considerations for different genres and subgenres and stuff that can help you make better mixing decisions. I think like in EDM though, I just don't really. I think I saw Deadmau5 maybe talk about his thoughts on tuning drums, and it seemed like maybe he had a similar mindset where like it doesn't really make that much sense. But other people, everyone thinks a little bit different about these things. And it's not like I've never gone to school for production either. I've never, most successful producers probably haven't. I would guess that most, artists that are full-time, let's say like electronic music producers, I would guess that most of them just learned everything through either experimentation, mostly just like producing themselves, or maybe like tutorials and that kind of stuff. I bet most producers don't have any kind of formal training, so it is a little bit of it's kind of black magic a little bit in that sense, where there's a lot of subjectivity, I think. Um, eh, but yeah, it's not quite as objective as, let's say, like music theory, right? Like I feel like um there are some core concepts. That's how in my opinion at least, I feel like it's less structured and like how to do certain things a certain way. But I don't know. I always think reverse engineering is a great way to learn more about tracks, and yeah, hopefully that helps you a little bit. I'm not sure if that's what you were talking about, Hadi, but um, is that roughly what you're kind of speaking about? Just tune it to scale. I think in terms of rhythm, the snare is more of a focal point in a beat usually compared to the kick. So a lot of times you'll spend more time on that. Um, I mean, I kind of disagree that the snare is more of a focal point. I feel that I see them as equally important in electronic music. Obviously, you have a lot of songs too that don't even have snares, right? So you'll have, house music, and a lot of house music, you're just straight up not, you don't have even snares. You have like maybe claps or just sections of the song where it's just four to the floor, just straight up kick drums. But I get your point. You're probably speaking about like genres where you are traditionally going to have a snare, like, dubstep or trap or something like that. Yeah, man, totally helps. I think it's mostly by feel, but also spending time away from a track to listen with fresh ears. Yeah, there's a lot of nuances to that conversation too, because I ran into this issue during feedback Fridays a little bit. Um, uh, Snares in house, yeah, they can totally exist as ghost notes for sure. But I ran into this issue, I think, with Madtism. What's up, Ession? Where actually, Ession, great person to have here since I know you're a producer as well. We're just kind of chatting a little bit about music production, but I was just gonna say that like a lot can get lost in translation when everyone has a different system, a different setup, and it's tough to know whether you're really like talking about the same things depending on like experience level and what kind of acoustics, what kind of equipment you're working with. There's all these variables that come into play, and they greatly affect all these conversations. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I wonder if with maybe certain technology, like some of this corrective technology, maybe if it gets better and improves more, maybe it'll improve producers' abilities to kind of like share tips and tricks in a more objective way. A lot of times, I feel like, you know, it just really feels like the kind of thing that you need to figure out for yourself. Like the vast majority of things, like, yeah, it can be helpful to hear other producers talk and give their perspective, maybe try some new ideas, but largely speaking, you just gotta DIY. If you do snares 2 and 4 in house, subtract the transient bit. Yeah, for sure that can work. I like to use rim shots. Yeah, actually, rim shots are not something I've tried to engineer before. I wonder how you would try to engineer a rim shot in like Serum or something. Curious about that. But yeah, anyways. Well, what should we do today? I know we've been kind of just like talking about theory and music production, which I actually kind of enjoy. I like switching it up and just like chatting a little bit about behind the scenes. Actually, for the producers out there, I'm kind of curious, since we are talking about preferences and different workflows and that kind of stuff. Like, you know, I something that I have never built into my workflow has been return sends, and I'm just really curious if any of you guys swear by using returns for music production, and whether it's, I don't know, production or mixing or whatever it is. I'm just curious if any of y'all stand on using returns. What do you mean? Well, Here, I'll give you an example. I'll just pop into Ableton here. But you see, obviously, you can have like this return track here, and they function differently than normal tracks, like let's say audio or MIDI. And essentially, instead of 100% of a track being sent or like received from a track, you can kind of like determine a separate level that of the signal from a track that's being sent into this. So for example, and it's going to be additive, like it's going to be added on top of that track's volume into the master. So you have this kick drum here, and that's going to continue playing, but as I raise this, then you have this additional like almost like a duplicate of the track that's being sent into this, and how much of that is being sent is determined by this return level here, essentially, or send, I guess. Sorry, wait, I click and drag, send on computer, right? Okay. But it's interesting because then you could have obviously these processing chains or groups here, which then you could send again to, like the way I have my setup here is like I have these tracks where I send anything being sidechained. So then you could still take like a return and then send it to a sidechain track so that the reverb is being sidechained as well. So like it's pretty interesting. Like there's a lot of possibilities there, but I've never really gotten into it. So I was just curious what y'all think about that. He said use this idea for effects mainly on the high end. Excuse me, your track doesn't have enough weird fully. It's basically just a separate track, and you can route something to track NFL. I mean, it's different than a normal track though. That's really important to know too, because like, so I'll give you another example, another way in which it's different than a normal track. So you'd have this return being sent to the master. So watch this. So this is just a reverb, obviously, on this return, right? So if if we send this kick drum into the return, you hear the reverb, but watch. If I turn the send down, the reverb still lingers. So in a normal track, if we were to were to create an audio track here and say, oh, let's grab the audio from this funk kick here. So we'll grab this audio, right? So now we have it's being doubled, and we could have the same reverb. So this would be, in a sense, it's very similar, right? Same thing, except when you turn down the volume on a normal track, then obviously everything that's on that track will turn off, right? The volume will turn off completely, versus the effects here process the signal differently. So that's one way in which they differ. You can also use this to do an effect rack and then just have a utility as the first effect, so you have the same as the send pretty much. Okay. Yeah, NFL, you just turn the send knob. Oh, okay. Yeah. But like, what do you guys use that for? Like, what do you use?
We gotta do follow-up.
Send and returns for. Thank you for the follow, Music Marius. I appreciate it. Haywyre, I helped Cindy Trump pass the 15-minute track thing for his university. Hell yeah. Cindy was mentioning that earlier. I guess I use that for sidechain. Returns are really nice for just like stacks of weird effects for buildups. I could see that. I've been using Logic for vocal tracking and use the bus sends in there. It's actually kind of, yeah. See, I think for things like reverb, that seems super useful. I don't know. Reverb swells, only specific words to delay chains. So if you're saying like only specific words being sent to a reverb, so let's say you automate like the send for, let's say, like that word, you have the automation popping up for that specific word. I'm guessing everyone talking about real music things. Meanwhile, I like using not a DAW to make music, video games. Yeah. What's your DAW of choice? Minecraft. Hey, Art Nerd, have you made more songs in Minecraft or a DAW? I like the mono signal collapse to match energy with sides. Ession, what do you mean by that? I'm just kind of curious. Are you talking about using returns for mono somehow? Yes, but I don't use a return. I use the effect where I can have a utility that effectively controls the send. Oh, okay. You can take a mono reverb on returns and run everything drums. Huh. Mono reverb. That's an interesting choice. I saw a video about there being a DAW for the PlayStation 1. No way. I actually I remember like 10 years ago when I was living in Vancouver and I was really close with the Monster Cat gang there. They don't have offices there anymore, but at the time, lots of artists were coming through on a regular basis. I had a permanent studio space there. Tristram had one. Monster Cat had several studio spaces they opened up to Monster Cat artists if they were coming through. And I had met Fractal and a friend of his, Daniel Hansen, and we just like met and were chatting, and he was showing me how he sets up his virtual environment in his VR to basically like have multiple screens. Like he'll have his DAW in the center and then like some other stuff going on. I thought that was really cool, and I think I've seen maybe a few other artists explore that a little bit, like VR music production. Who was it? Nasco? I might be tripping, but I think I saw Nasco tweet about that. Maybe we already crossed each other's paths at ADE. Well, if you're talking to me, that's probably not the case. I've never been to ADE, but I'd love to go someday. Funilab uses VR. Oh, no way! I didn't know that. Yeah, we're all Funilab fans. But yeah, I really loved the idea of using VR for like, sometimes it can feel a bit limited to have a single screen. And I mean, even two screens, like I've thought about, an additional screen, and that seems great and all, but like one for metering or something like that. But I don't know, the idea of like the problem with VR though is that like you get fatigued. I get nauseous quite easily, or motion sickness, I should say. Yeah, small compact screen could be good. I've seen people do that with direct mini meters for sure. That could work, but sometimes I wish I had like it would be nice to have an additional screen for different things. But all right, anyways, we've been chit-chatting for like an hour now. Should we actually get into making something? Instead of just That's right. I keep forgetting. I've been wanting to set up mini meters for some visual candy for streams, and maybe the thing is, like, one thing I will say that a reason why I haven't gotten into using metering tools like that more often is that well, I need to get over the learning curve to better interpret what I'm looking at. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like most people just like how it looks. It's really fun to see your signal. I'm not saying everyone, but I just have this hunch that like most of the time it's being used more as like this fun way to visualize the sound design or stuff you're working on versus like actively looking at it and being like, oh yeah, okay, like correlation meter is showing me things need to be more mono, or I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off on that, but it kind of feels like that to me sometimes. I like for Vision 4X. Yeah, I do have that as well, actually. Question: when are you officially planning your stream hiatus? Daily streams have been lovely in the meantime. Yeah, thank you. Well, I think that May will be my last month of the consistent regular schedule. And then I might, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. I might, with the wedding and other things going on, my album, like wanting to prioritize that. And obviously I've stopped streaming, working on the album as well. Just to kind of like keep that creative workflow in a different headspace. And I don't want to share. I realize I don't want to share every single little thing I'm doing because I want there to be some element of surprise when the music actually comes out. And initially I thought it'd be fun to basically show the entire process of the album being made live on stream. And then I wouldn't say it backfired because I do enjoy streaming a lot, but I just realized that I'd prefer to keep a chunk of the workflow private. Wedding and album are quite important. Yeah, for sure.
We gotta do follow-up.
But I'm gonna stick to the schedule for May. Thank you for the follow, Xylon. I appreciate it. All right, let's get into some a little bit of production shenanigans then. Let's see what we can come up with today. Or alternatively, I can, I've been just throwing all of my sketches into this one giant project file. So these are all sketch journal entries, album tracks, and some reference tracks in here as well for mixing and sound design, and inspiration, references, that kind of stuff. So this is the track we made yesterday, I believe. It's a fun idea. I really dig it. And then we have this Rally House track we started the other day. Yeah, pretty cool. What else do we have in here? Yeah, a lot of the mixes on these are still questionable. I'd collapse the piano into mono. That's a cool idea, actually. Yeah, for the Rally House track, I'm guessing. What else do I have here?
Do it like this.
I don't know what this is. Oh wait, I got that Harry Potter track over here. Forgot about this. What is this nonsense? Okay, but we all are familiar with Shrek raves, right? Maybe there need to be Harry Potter raves. Everybody's getting schwasted on butterbeers, raving. Not me, not Hermione. You. Oh man. What is this thing?
Show you how it's in your mouth and now
It's pretty cool too. I mean, that doesn't really work with Haywyre normally, but yeah, I mean, look at this. There's just a bajillion sketches here. This is right now my thought is I'm trying to categorize things a bit into album tracks, sketch journal tracks, and then panorama tracks. And panorama I've got filled out right now with songs that I would like to finish. They all will be, obviously they're EPs, not albums. So I think they'll end up being about 5 tracks each, and I would love to finish this project as well. I think like a part of me is considering, I don't know why, I don't want it to feel like I'm forcing these multi-part projects. I do really love kind of like the storytelling doors that open when you have kind of like these broader themes and ideas you're exploring, like with Twofold, obviously that was 2 parts. With Panorama, the idea was to do 6, and then I kind of pressed pause on that because I was feeling a bit discouraged, I guess. But part of me is considering that I have enough material. I have so much material that I might make this next album another series, which sounds a little bit silly to do that many series in a way. But honestly, just like look at how much material there is. Like, not all of them are that good, right? Obviously, like that Harry Potter one is kind of a joke in a way. Kind of a meme thing, but there might be something to it that end up used or incorporated into, a releasable track. So I don't know. We'll see. I was kind of playing around with the idea of having, like right now, the album title, the album title is Microcosm, and I thought it'd be cool. A cool way to kind of like play into the macro concept, like multiple chapters, multiple different microcosm chapters could then build a macrocosm, right? Where like maybe there could be like a macrocosm collection which has like all the different chapters of microcosm or something like that. But I need to work on kind of like the story a bit more. Right now, they're kind of all these like independent little themes and ideas, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it for sure. And I've been doing a lot of exploration on the streams with like production, just kind of like trying to open up whatever intuition tells me to do. A lot of stupid stuff, a lot of pretty cool stuff, but yeah, I know I've got a long way to go still, so let's check out another few of these just for fun. Noisy bass can definitely be reworked into Haywyre vibe. Yeah, I think you might be right there. Definitely some cool stuff going on in this guy. I like this one a lot. So I feel like I have a lot of funky, groovy, four to the floor stuff. I think I have a few decent halftime ideas as well. I have this kind of like mid-tempo, or not mid-tempo, glitch hop kind of thing. I feel like there's something cool there, even though it's really rough. There's something to it that I like. Let's take a look. There's where's I know I'm kind of jumping around right now. I'm looking for a specific sketch. There's some kind of old. Last year at some point, I made some kind of mid-tempo thing that was kind of cool, but I wish I knew more about coding. I feel like I can envision, like, you guys know, I don't know if any of you guys use Notion. Like use like the Notion databases and like how you can tag these entries with information. Like I wish there was some way to build something like that, like a database for your music. I know there's like services like Disco. I'm not too crazy about disco for some reason it just doesn't do the trick for me. There's like specific functionality that doesn't work, or like, I have issues with it quite often, so I just kind of stopped using it. But it would be so cool, like, to be able to rearrange and shift all these ideas around by saying, like, only display, I don't know, only display stuff that's 100 to 110 BPM or something like that, and then try to like filter all the ideas based off of that. Like, that's the kind of stuff where, that's another example of how I think, some of the technology that's being developed could be really helpful to musicians, that I feel like is more genuine and authentic and can just enable better workflows versus, obviously, like, prompt generating tracks with, prompts, which is kind of like the more extreme example for like that's like that's the end of the spectrum that serves as the most extreme example of, let's say, like, what people tend to not agree with or not like, you know what I mean? Which, by the way, Haywyre, I can definitely think of a way to make it. Hell yeah. With Max for Live? No way. You want this to be a native Ableton thing? I mean, I didn't think of that, but that would be pretty crazy. Is that something you can do in Max for Live? That would be nuts. You should for sure hit me up on Discord if you think that's something you're capable of, because that would be insane. I tried to use Claude to kind of make me like some kind of server where I can upload my ideas and then tag them myself, but honestly, it's not worked out very well so far. But I mean, maybe I just need more patience. But speaking of maybe like technology, like that's relevant for music production, I have a couple of stories. I know I'm talking a lot this stream, and I apologize for that. Some streams I kind of feel more like chatting, and sometimes I'm more kind of like in production jamming mode. But there was I saw a headline yesterday, not a headline, it was like a social media post. But for all the producers out there, what do you? I'm curious what you guys think about this. Splice made an announcement that you can now use Claude to search for samples and loops and presets. So you can type into Claude, say, like, I want to make a funky house track 124 BPM, and I need these kind of elements. And I was like, I feel like my gut instinct was like, what's going on here? But I don't know. It's interesting because it's like it's kind of just a more efficient way for most people probably to do what they're already doing with Splice. And it seems like there's a way to essentially drag and drop through that Splice connector in Claude. You can basically then like drag and drop all the recommended. Well, you can preview them, I'm pretty sure, and then you'd have to use credits to buy them and drag and drop them into your project file. If it's only for an enhanced search, I'd probably be okay with it. Right. Yeah, it's weird. Generated samples. It's tough though, right? Like, what? Yeah, I don't know, man. The conversation keeps evolving. I think one thing that's really helpful though, in this era, is that, like, it's pretty clear that it's good and it's healthy to have a hard line example of what is not okay, right? I think that, like, having that North Star of being like, this fully generated, like, single sentence prompt thing feels does not feel right, doesn't feel good, and it's having a really bad impact for musicians trying to make a living. It's diluting the Spotify payment pools. People are getting paid less. How many songs a day are being uploaded now that are AI, right? So it's like, it's good to have that example of like what's not working. But it also is weird because I think a lot of the discourse is very confusing right now. Spotify was never good. I mean, yeah, you might be right. I don't know. I feel like there are ways in which I think like they're yeah, I don't know. Not sure what to say about that. I don't want to keep supporting Spotify. I'm probably going to, I think I mentioned this before, I'm probably going to end up going back to like just purchasing and only listening to stuff that I've purchased personally. But my relationship with music is different than other people, right? Like my fiance, for example, she uses Spotify often as a discovery mechanism to find new music that she wants to choreograph to and teach classes to, but they still have no guardrails for the AI music stuff, right? So yeah, Bandcamp is pretty much my preferred approach too. There's an AI generated image Turing test, and a staggering amount of people cannot discern what's made right. I think with AI images, there is a lot of stuff that feels very convincing initially. It's similar with music where like it can trick you at first, but then if you look a little bit closer, you can start noticing things. Especially with images, it's one thing. With video, it becomes a little bit easier with AI because you see those weird things that shouldn't be happening, like I don't know, fingers are temporarily like merging together, or like just weird stuff like that happens. And with music, you hear these weird artifacts or something that is like too almost too polished, but it usually like requires a little bit of additional digging into the artist involved to get a feeling for whether something is AI or not. And it's been really disappointing to find music and enjoy it and then be like, well, fuck, this is like fully AI generated, for example, or I still don't know how to feel about songs that are utilizing partially AI generated stuff, where, for example, I stumbled across a song that I really liked a couple months ago and the vocal was just fully AI generated. And I don't quite remember if the lyrics were from the artist or not. But like all the production was done by the producer and the writer of the song, but then the vocals were just fully generated, which like, I don't know, that falls different in a different place on the spectrum of like problematic usage of tech in creative arts. And it's not obviously as bad as like, let's say like something that's fully generated with a single prompt or something. But I don't know. I hate that AI has been trained on styles that real artists have been doing for centuries. Yeah, it is a super interesting conversation though. When you do, I never want to sound, or I try my best to not be hypocritical about when I'm trying to enforce a certain standard or moral or ethic onto something. I mean, a lot of times it's pretty easy to say when something is wrong. But sometimes it's more difficult, and I think there are a lot of interesting conversations happening around how some of this newer technology can be used more effectively, more efficiently, like in ways that actually like enable people versus just like, cutting out the human aspect altogether. I mean, I don't think most people want that. But I think the more pop the song sounds, the more it is going to be AI involved. I could see that. I mean, pop does tend to be among the most formulaic music, but then again, there's like, I don't know. Like AI can obviously generate something that is extremely convincing and sounds like it could be a pop radio like hit, right? But it wouldn't have a brand or a person to kind of champion that. So you're probably right in that sense that like, I'm sure there's plenty of pop artists that are already using this. A lot of teams a lot of like high profile people are probably already fully embracing using AI in all these different ways. I mean, it's not hard to see, honestly. It feels kind of like it feels a little bit like the culture and the perspective on AI usage in music is different in that space, because if you look at the few people that are really high profile names that have taken like very public stances on AI and music, I feel like a lot of them have been more in favor of it. Like you see people like Timbaland or Diplo or Charlie Puth, and those are all people that have really kind of come to embrace it. But I don't know, like, what high profile artists have done the opposite. I don't think I can think of nearly as many. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that how does Charlie Puth use it? Well, he just he's the ambassador now of an AI company, and he has essentially embraced the usage of it through, like, in conversations he's made that clear, like in interviews and such. But also he has a course that he offers that uses AI to generate different things for students, and he's actually in an interview given like a really good example of what he thinks is a good use of AI, which that's a whole nother topic. But like I feel like he's obviously not, let's say, I don't think he's just throwing out the ethical or like moral concerns, but I am surprised to see how willing he has been to kind of just embrace that technology and push it and try to profit off of it, right? But anyways, so ain't no way Haywyre style gets imitated. But I don't know, dude. I mean, according to literally Suno's own spokespeople, pretty much everyone's music on the internet has been ripped and used in training data sets. So I feel like pretty much, from what I understand, everyone's work, whether you wanted it to or not, has been incorporated. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand exactly how the training works, but either way, it was unlicensed. So I think there was one of the majors that settled that lawsuit with Suno so far, but all the other lawsuits are still ongoing, from what I understand. Yeah, I'd imagine most people who are promoting it are getting paid. Right. I mean, that's the point that some people were making about, let's say, like, the whole Diplo debacle, saying like, get with the times or become an Uber driver. Right. That was the phrase that got everybody up in arms, which is hilarious because that is such a rage bait thing to say. But no clue how it's legal. Well, it's not. They're being sued. So, but anyways, I mean, like, that is just a absolutely hilarious thing to say. If you're a musician, you better start using AI. Otherwise, you might as well just become an Uber driver. Like, damn, dude. That is such a sad ultimatum. Like the fact that those are the choices for artists in his mind is just, that's wild. And it was so black and white too. Like I can't imagine that wasn't meant to be rage bait, to be honest. Udio backed off. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't understand like why I feel like the technology just went from 0 to 100. Like, where are all these like little ways in which it can be implemented in more like like I feel like it should have happened more. I wish it would have happened more gradually, and like people had the chance to kind of like experiment with these tools and find ways to incorporate it into their workflow for creatives. Like, but that was just completely bypassed. It's interesting. But yeah, obviously we don't live in a make believe world. This is reality, and that's just their business model, right? Take what you want and then ask for forgiveness, essentially, and hope you don't get sued. That's their motto, essentially. Anyways, okay, I went on another talking tangent there, but yeah, no, I think I was just trying to make a point about like how great a lot of this technology could be. But yeah, I definitely don't understand exactly how those training sets, like how all of that information is digested and then spit back out. I don't fully get it. But either way, obviously you would need a license for that. I mean, it's copyrights exist for a reason. And I mean, this is probably going to pave the way for a new kinds of licenses. I'm guessing, or it already has. I'm sure there's already, probably for years, there's been licenses like that being negotiated for training sets. But okay, anyways, that was a lot of blabbering. Let's see. I don't really like to talk too much about things I don't know much about. But it's tough because, even though I don't know a lot about how AI works on a technical level, it doesn't mean I can't comment on the ethical or moral implications or applications. Haywyre. In simple terms, you have a lot of limited data that fights for its space within the space that already exists, including efficiency and generation quality. So let me tell you that when I prompted to specifically generate cone sound stuff with polychrome album tag, boy, it was bad. Interesting. Wait, are you talking about Suno still, or are you talking about a different platform? Because I was curious about that. I went onto Suno some months ago, and I created like a demo account or whatever, and it starts you off with some credits, right? So I was like, what happens if I type in generate me a Haywyre track or something like that? And it basically gave me some kind of response of like, well, we can't make you something based off of a specific artist, but we can use some of the tags or associated qualities of that artist's music and generate something based off of that. So it was I think they're trying to like portray themselves as like more, I think it's an effort to make it look more like they're playing by the book, when obviously they didn't, because all that data was used unlicensed, or at least some of it is licensed now. I forget who settled, but yeah, anyways. Oh yeah, this idea is cool. I remember this one. It. That one's got a nice vibe. I feel like I have a lot of kind of like 125 to 135 random stuff. I'm not sure what to do with.
Tell me everything. Tell me everything. This time
I don't know. Maybe we don't keep listening through these and we just try to create something new right now. I'm going to stream until about 4, so it gives us 2 hours to try to just make something new. Why not? Someone was comparing the prevalence of students using AI and cheat in college to basically being an experience machine. What do you mean by that, experience machine? I don't know if I fully understand. Oh, okay. I was reading an interesting opinion piece about the experience machine, kind of like the Matrix. Would you willingly plug your mind into a machine that simulates any experience you want, but you yourself, your body, right? Okay, so it like got the Matrix thing going on there. Stuck in the machine, or do you want to experience things yourself without a falsified simulation? Well, there's also just straight up simulation theories too. It's tough because like a lot of these concepts that used to be fun sci-fi concepts and stories to read about are becoming more of a reality every day. And so it's I find it way more fun to just entertain as a hypothetical story, but once it comes to reality, things are very different. Yeah, I don't know. Like, for example, in theory, like being able to hook up to like a hypothetical experience machine like that would be really awesome. And I mean, right, in a small way, that's what we do when we play video games. Obviously, it's not nearly as invasive or immersive, but like a VR set, right? Like it's it's even more immersive than, let's say, maybe like playing a PC game or something. But I don't know. Obviously, the implications of like hooking yourself up like biologically to some kind of technology like that is super scary. But the reality is, I think, like, I don't know, like, so for me, for example, like I'm a relatively healthy 33-year-old, right? So it's easier for me to turn something like that down compared to, let's say, I don't want to dox my grandma, but I have one grandparent left, and she's in her 90s, and for someone like that to plug into their perspective would be totally different than mine, right? Like, she would probably, if there was some kind of high percentage of success, I'm sure she would have more interest in a simulated world than the current one. It's kind of a dark thought, but I mean, I'm trying to give it as like a more realistic situation where, like, I don't know, if I reach a point in my life, if I grow old enough and I'm still alive and my faculties are declining, I can, if it takes me 2 hours just to, like, get out of bed in the morning or something, and I can barely do anything on my own anymore, that is a difficult quandary then at that point, right? Like, the quality of life is not great. So yeah, I mean, you'd be more tempted to take those kind of offerings. I mean, it's actually a good example too is the Neuralink stuff, right? I forget how many people have had a Neuralink implanted now, but I mean, of course, it makes the most sense to start with the use cases where their upside is the most visible. I forget I don't know all the details about some of the people that have had them, so I'm not trying to. Um, I don't remember everything about it, but I think that some of them, if not all of them, have had some kind of disability, handicap, etc. Whether it's like uh, paralysis, or like um, they're deaf, or they are whatever it is. It's like those are the cases where people are obviously way more likely to be like that guinea pig, or to try to find a way to they're one is more likely to, I guess, embrace that kind of technology in those cases. But sometimes I feel tempted to use AI to help me come up with vocal lines for songs that I've produced or written lyrics, sort of to use it to expand my vocabulary of vocal melodies, but I haven't decided if that's for me or not. Yeah, listen, I understand the temptation. I think it's hard because in my opinion it can become a slippery slope. I talk with people sometimes about that concept is an interesting one, because it just speaks to human psychology, right? It's one thing that I've talked about with my fiance before is like she's asked me at times about my stance on, let's say, like cosmetic surgery and how I feel about those kind of things, and I really think that that's a pretty decent example of where I feel like something can be a slippery slope, where let's say, for example, you have something you're not happy about, in terms of how you look. There's some situations where, let's say, like, maybe you have an accident, you have some severe scarring or something that makes it really difficult for you to feel comfortable going out in public. And it's like, yeah, I mean, those are great examples where, I feel like it makes sense to consider cosmetic surgery, right? But if it's not a case like that, and you're just kind of like, oh, my nose like looks a little like it's like slightly lopsided or something, it's like, I don't know, that's not really necessary. And part of the reason for that for me is that okay, so you get that surgery done, and then what's next, right? Like you're gonna keep looking at yourself and think about what other imperfections are there, right? And it's like, well, now that door is opened in terms of like, well, I can fix that. I know I can fix that. And you like it would create a kind of a toxic cycle of like, well, now I got to get more work done. I got to get this done and that done. And I've always been pretty adamant with my fiance about like, I prefer it. We're adults. I obviously we support and encourage, like, support each other to be healthy and happy in whatever ways we can. But at the end of the day, it's her body, right? So if she wants to do something, like, I'll tell her my opinion on it, but I'm not gonna like, yeah, she does whatever she wants. But I've always been clear that like, I would want her to just be who she is naturally. And I feel like that's a similar thing with AI, where it's like, well, you might start off using it in a way that's, let's say maybe like not as big of a part of your workflow. Maybe at first you say like, I don't know where to get some lyric ideas from. Well, let me just type something into ChatGPT to give me some lyric ideas or something, right? And so then, and then next maybe you're like, oh, well, actually, don't just generate the lyrics. Maybe give me like a little riff with the lyrics, just a little motif, like not a full top line. And then it's like, oh yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. And then like, I don't know, it's tough. Like you could end up finding yourself leaning on it more and more and more, and it could create an unhealthy kind of relationship with your creative process. But yeah, I mean, it's all up to each person gets to make those decisions for themselves, and I feel like that's a big reason why I've just like tried to stay very far away from it on a creative level. Because I know that the technology is probably quite impressive in a lot of ways, maybe really stupid in others, I mean, I've had some really dumb interactions with mostly ChatGPT. Claude seems to be a little bit better, but you know, I mean, I'm sure the results are pretty cool, and there's probably some interesting things you could generate. But I just don't even want to go there. You know, I don't want to open that door. I'd rather have it enable me and my workflow, my specific creative like habits and tasks. I don't want it to give me ideas or generate ideas. I want it to help me with my workflow, the menial little tasks like I don't know, like repeated things that I do on my computer. Again, sorry, I know damn, I'm like blabbering so much today. I apologize, but I was just gonna say this is part of the reason why I think Reaper was so interesting to me, because the idea of writing scripts that are specific to your workflow is an incredibly powerful tool to have in your pocket, right? And you know, I remember giving this example many times of Tristram. He showed me a script he wrote in Reaper, really simple, but it opened these doors in my mind where I was like, oh my god, you can write all these really sick custom scripts. And what it was just it's just a Yap stream now, yeah, I guess so. So all it was just a way to select a sample. Let's say a snare, for example. You hover over that snare with your mouse, and then you press whatever it was, you know, Command R or something like that, and it would generate a reverb tail on a new track, reverse that reverb tail, and then cut that reverb tail right at the starting point of the original sample. So in effect, what you get is just a simple script that would create a reversed reverb that leads into the sample that your mouse is hovering over. And I was like, this is awesome, because like who wants to do those specific things over and over again? I understand there are, yeah. But like that's a way in which efficiency makes sense to me, because it's like, it's a conscious decision to say like, okay, this is a part of my workflow. I do these kind of reverse reverbs a lot. What point does it make if I create a custom script that allows me to press two buttons to have the same effect versus me clicking around, for let's say 3, 4, 5 minutes? The only difference at that point is that is an efficiency argument that is really compelling to me, because you're not missing out on some kind of creative journey. It's not, there's not really some big like it's not like exploring chords and finding or exploring sound design. It's literally a mechanical task, right? So to me, it feels like a really compelling argument for efficiency and like how to apply that to a creative workflow. So I love the idea of implementing Reaper for that reason, because it's like, man, if you could do that, imagine what else you could do. There's all these things that are part of my workflow that I could probably do much quicker. Like if I have the idea of like, oh, I want this Keyscapes felt piano where the low end is kind of like there's the low end is EQ'd out, and maybe the mids are kind of like multiband compressed a bit, and that's the preset that I'm kind of like I want right now. And so obviously I could have like an Ableton group or something, but I'm sure in Reaper there's I know there's other solutions for this in Ableton. There's some Max for Live tools and stuff, but I'm just kind of like speaking in general about this efficiency conversation and those kind of things. But anyways, shows that you have to set external limitations because the AI simply won't listen. I was telling OpenClaw stop responding in this side thread earlier, and it kept responding unless I prefaced every single message. Yeah, with don't respond. Totally. Yeah. I mean, the technology, it feels so incredible and so stupid at the same time, right? I don't know if any of you guys follow. There's this guy that pops up on my TikTok pretty often. I hate to admit I haven't spent time on there at all, but there's this guy that kind of exposes these weird quirks about ChatGPT, that things that should be super simple but just do not work at all with these kind of like leading, supposedly kind of like cutting edge AI platforms, and it's just hilarious. The really simple things it gets completely wrong, or just straight up doesn't seem to understand whatever that might mean on an AI level. But man, his videos are actually hilarious. I can't think of his name, but I'll throw it in the Discord if I think of it or if I see it. But yeah, anyways. Okay, I need to calm my nervous system down, I think, a little bit. Why don't we find a chill little, some kind of relaxing drum loop, maybe to play some piano over. Well, let's see what happens if I just type in jazz. Ooh, actually, 0224. Let me open that because that has that exact loop that I want to jam on for a second. 0224. Yeah. Let's pop in there real quick. Okay. I think I do want a brighter keyscapes though. But yeah, I appreciate y'all just being open to talking about this kind of stuff. I think like it's better to just have like an open dialogue and try to understand, you know, what's happening, where are things going, like how can we try to, you know, understand how or where to steer things if we even have control to do that still. So I appreciate y'all just being open to chatting about that. Okay, let's just play some ballady jams here. Wait, I don't know why. I just randomly got this idea. What if we did a jazz ballad version of a Backstreet Boys song? Da-da-da. I'm just trying to think about the reharms a little bit here. I kind of dirty loopsing Backstreet Boys a little bit. No, I can't play as good as what's his name again? The lead Dirty Loops guy. Jonah Nielsen, right? That guy is absolutely absurd. Okay, let's get like a gentle little hi-hat loop going. Something that's like slower than the original. Maybe like, yeah, 90 BPM. All right. Let's see. Maybe there's something in one of these newer Oliver packs that I haven't used before. I mean, that's a really nice loop. It's got a little more energy than I was looking for, but that's all right. Maybe some shakers. Okay. Kind of having fun with it right now, so why don't we find some random little drum loop to throw under here, just to jam on this stupid idea for a little bit. We could maybe pick it up a little bit tempo wise. Why don't we grab this one? This one's pretty bright, but whatever. We're not really doing anything serious here. Actually, I kind of think I might want something different. I just realized that I think there might be in one of their packs, there might be something closer to, let's see, drum loops, 80s pop. Ooh. This could be kind of fun. Let's see. I am enjoying playing it over this drum loop here. I wish I had the acapella for it. I would throw that in there right now. Hold on. Maybe I do. That would be jokes. We could maybe speed it up a tiny bit. It felt really good at 100, but I wonder. Okay, let me see if I. This would be so funny if I have the acapella. I highly doubt it, but Backstreet. Oh my God, I have it. Am I gonna get DMCA'd for this? Am I gonna get shut down? I don't think so, because I did that with the Justin Timberlake acapella, and I feel like it worked okay on stream. I didn't get shut down. Yeah, worst case, VOD gets muted. Okay. Let me see. What tempo is the original? About 99. All right. Okay, actually, the warp got it pretty close. Let's try 99.
You are, but we are two worlds apart. You are,
So it'd be like, whoops.
you are my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I want it down.
Okay, that actually seems pretty close. Let's. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I pitched it down, I think, to make it.
Why
Yeah, I was having fun with it in F. So hold on. Let's try it like this.
you are my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart, can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why.
I'm loving it. This is hilarious. All right. Damn, wait. This is a long. Oh, it's not that long. Never mind. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. All right. Boom. Okay, let's see.
You are my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart, can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear.
Whoa. What happened there? What?
I want it that way. Tell me.
Something got like out of whack. It might be a. Well, actually, the warp looks like it's the same throughout. So we'll figure out what happened there.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Oh, I think those were fine. What about over here?
Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Now I can see that we've fallen apart.
It's funny because I remember hearing Backstreet Boys when I was young, and it definitely felt like too cheesy for me to get into. But they are really just no matter what you say about the music, I mean, they're just really talented people.
Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I wanted it that way. Now I can see that we're falling apart from the way that it used to be. Yeah. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, no matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are.
Okay, then it goes back to okay. Let's see.
You are my fire. You are my fire, the one desire. You are. Don't wanna hear you say, don't wanna hear you say.
Oh, wait a minute. There's a key change there. What the hell? All right, maybe we won't go that deep into the song quite yet. Why don't we just focus on whatever's going on here? It'd be fun to like add a little bit of like I don't know, just kind of generic disco production under this. But for now, I'm kind of enjoying just playing some piano.
You are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Now I can see that we're falling apart from the way that it used to be. Yeah. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me.
I don't really know how to harm that part yet.
I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Now I can see that we're falling apart from the way that it used to be. Yeah. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me.
Okay. Well, one thing we could try to do, we could always throw in a little Trillion action just to see how that feels. Let's give this one a shot. Retro 60s Epiphone.
Wi-Fi, the one desire, believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I?
Woo! All right. I think that's a good outline there. Let's see if we can play some chords along with that. Actually, I should create a quick dummy sidechain track. One of my kitties is outside of the studio, very upset. Lack of attention. Okay, let's just do this. There we go. And we'll send this to sidechain. Let's see. Funk. Dummy. Okay, so the question is, do we do Rhodes or piano? Save your work? I guess so. I'm not sure if this is worth saving, but we'll do it. Okay, 0430 2026. Backstreet Boys.
You are my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I?
Wait. What were the changes I was picturing there?
I never wanna hear you say I.
Something like that.
I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I never wanna hear you say I want it that way.
That's fun. All right, hold on. I like the little intro too.
You are my fire, the one desire believe when I say I want it that way. We are two worlds apart, can't reach to your heart when you say I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I?
All right. It's a lot of fun to play. That's for sure. So what do we do next? Let's add some little embellishments. Whoops. Let's just make some dreamy little background pluck things.
I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one?
What else? Wait, let's start throwing in some disco hits, some string of we can maybe add a top loop as well. Let's see, where does the... We can maybe go multi-band.
Your fire, your one.
Just to keep building the percussion a bit.
Your fire, your one. Desire, yes I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me.
This is so funny. Okay, let's add this in the intro. I think the chord changes might be a little too complex to have guitar chord strumming, but we could do like single note, like muted single note plucks or something. Maybe let's not do that for now.
You are my fire, the one desire believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds.
That sounded pretty decent on the downbeat.
Your fire, your one desire.
I think maybe we add another layer here. this is being heavily sidechained. We can add it as an extra layer in this section.
I want it that way. Am I your your fire, your one desire, your side of it's too late, but I won't get that way. Tell me why. Tell
Oh, whoops, hold on.
me I want it that way. Tell me why I won't get that way. Tell me why. Tell me
Okay, there we go. Let's record this.
why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Now I can see.
Okay, I don't know about what should happen after that, but I do like some of this stuff over here.
Your fire, your one desire, your side.
Maybe we should have some strings in here. Let's make a little yay roads. We need a harmonica option. Maybe I'll make that a new command. A new redeem channel point redeem. Add harmonica. Cello ensemble. Let's start with this.
I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire, your side of
Or maybe legato? I don't know. Or actually, we could have the legato strings pop in during this section.
that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way.
Maybe. It's not my favorite thing. Why don't we add a violin, viola? Okay. Let's add another cello ensemble layer here. Nice, I like this layering. That's sounding pretty good. We could do some fun runs.
You say I want it that way.
Whoops, that OTT is way too much.
You say I want it that way. My, your fire, your one desire, your side of it's too late, but I won't get that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it.
It's kind of fun in certain areas. I don't know if it's overkill.
Highway, my you're fire, you're one desire. Yes, I know it's too late, but I won't get that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want
Why am I doing this?
why. Tell me why.
Hey, Wire, what are the lyrics at the start of I Am You? I hear boy boy get the trunks, boy get the truck stop. Am I crazy?
Listen, this is one of the great things about being a musician with question mark lyrics like that. I enjoy going online every so often, and I'll see a new attempt at trying to decipher what's going on there. It brings me a lot of joy. So I'm going to leave that unanswered because I just enjoy seeing what people think it is.
You are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart. When you say that I want it that way, tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. You're mine, you're fire, you're one.
I like it. It's fun. Maybe a little bit of a piano breakdown after that.
No matter the distance, I want you to know that you're inside me.
Hold on, that was kind of cool. I don't know why this part of the acapella is so quiet.
No matter the distance, I want you to know that you're inside me.
Those harmonies.
No matter the distance. No matter the distance, I want you to know that
like that. Let's see if we can do something like that. I want to figure out what chords to play there. Let's see.
No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you.
It's getting very Daft Punky in there, but whatever. Daft Punk is fucking great, so.
No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance.
Okay. We don't need to keep playing that over and over. But in terms of the arrangement, I don't really know. I guess maybe it just repeats a few times.
That deep down inside me. Oh, I find the one desire believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart.
I mean, it could just loop straight back for the sake of whatever the hell it is that I'm doing right now. try it again.
You are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say no matter the distance, I want you to know that deep inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep inside me. My fire, the one.
Okay, I do really like that little bridge section, but I don't really know what to do after that. Like, we could just fade out? I never like fade outs though, to be honest. It just feels like it goes into this tangent, and I really love that groove, but writing wise, I just don't know. So we have these chords. You want to hear some James Brown vocalizations at the start? I think the closest thing that I could get to that is probably right in here. Hold on. This pack is hilarious.
How? How? You are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I leave, when I say I want it. Honey, hear that bass player?
Hold on.
Honey, hear that? Honey, hear that bass player? You are my fire, the one
Yeah, so dumb. I'll get rid of that. I liked it. Just the wow.
How? You are my fire. Listen to the organ play. Yeah, the organ.
I want to add some organ now just because of this voice line. Do some Backstreet Boys church. A little bit of church action. Let's see. Organ. I don't know what I feel like I don't have any good organ sounds. What the hell is this? I've never seen this in my life. No, that's not a good organ sound. Maybe Omnisphere has an organ. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Haywyre, go to Keyscape. Of course. Which patch? In Keyscapes. Wait, are there? Hold up. Are there organs in? Am I tripping? There's organs in Keyscapes. Which actually there should be. I feel like there should be organs in Keyscapes. I'm not seeing one in there right now, but I'm not sure. I don't even really like any of these organ patches, if I'm being honest. Let's try to keep looking.
My fire, the one. You are my fire, the one. Desire, believe when I say I want it that way. But we.
It is a lot of fun to just play reharms over this.
We are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but
Okay, anyways. I think maybe I'll just do one more little take of this jam, and then probably just wrap it up for today, slowly but surely. Let's see. We'll just try to end it with this section here.
No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter.
So, okay, let's give it one more shot. Let's give it one more shot here. Whoops. A little piano. With there should be, what the fuck? You had the mono patch. Interesting. I never thought there were organs in keyscapes. But yeah, okay. Here, let's give it one more shot.
You are my fire, the one desire me. And I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart. When you say that I want it that way, tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why. Tell me why. I never wanna hear you say I want No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside me.
Oh man, not really what I was expecting to spend the rest of my day on, but it's all good. That was really fun. But yeah, more obnoxious funk vocals. Next time I'll incorporate them. But anyways, y'all, I think I might call it here for today. Last day of April. We got May hitting tomorrow. Remember to say rabbit. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in for a little bit and letting me just do random things. Do NSYNC is gonna be mad at me. Honor the last day of April. Wait, is that an NSYNC song? Or NSYNC, It's Gonna Be Me? I don't know. The way they pronounce it. Shit, I don't know. I don't know that one. It's Gonna Be May. Oh, It's Gonna Be Me sounds like a good song title too. Like, Gonna Be Me. Oh, it is. It's Gonna Be Me. Oh. I see what you're saying now. I just don't know the song, unfortunately. Sorry, Art Nerd. Okay, I didn't want to leave you empty-handed. Gave you a quick little random other riff there. I'll definitely check it out. I'm curious now. But thanks again, y'all, for hanging out today, and I'll be back tomorrow for Feedback Friday. So take care, and yeah, appreciate y'all. Peace out.